One Piece Heroines has to be one of the most desperate pieces of media that I've seen in a while. One Piece as a whole is a desperate piece of media that wants to be taken seriously so bad but fails in every single way. And this show pretty much proves my point, man. Let's take a garbage light novel, from One Piece. This garbage spin-off about the female characters of One Piece, getting into fashion and gossiping and, doing stuff that you'll typically see in a Shoujo or Yosei manga. But, with the One Piece cast, and I'm like, who in their right mind actually finds this saucy, actually finds this cool and entertaining? I'm like, this just could be no way, you know. When I saw this, I was like, oh yeah, Oda is desperate. He knows his days are numbered. Coming out with that shitty ass remake that everyone's going crazy about. And I'm just like, man, I can't take, One Piece seriously, man. Like, imagine actually being excited, right? For some garbage female spin-off of One Piece. Oh boy, that could never be me. But anyways, Hide Yuki here, the Rebelling Rose, the One Chain to Oblivion, returning yet again with another excellent video. My God, man. One Piece Heroines, man. I'm just looking at this shit and I'm like, who does this appeal to? I'm like, I guarantee you nobody was reading that fucking light novel. I didn't even know this bullshit existed until it was recently put out. I'm like, what the fuck? One Piece has some shitty light novel spinoff? I'm like, oh, wow. Oda must have been real desperate. And yeah, Oda didn't actually write it, but still, I'm like, my God, you gave them the rights to create this garbage. You were that desperate for that paper? Holy fuck. It's just really pathetic. I'm like, One Piece can't be no high quality Shoujo manga, man. No high quality Shoujo anime. It just ain't gonna happen, man. It's just not gonna happen. The art style still looks like trash. And I'm like, holy fuck, Oda didn't even make this. And the art still looks bad, It's like, holy shit, the story is just a bunch of random nonsense, no linear story in sight. And you don't have to have a linear story, but it's just some, short story garbage, just a bunch of slice of life nonsense that can't be taken seriously. It's just like, what I'm really trying to figure out who this actually appeals to. It's series like this that make Shoujo look worse than it already is, Don't get me wrong, Shoujo anime can be just as garbage as shonen, but my goodness, man, this is just so disrespectful, One Piece is already terrible as it is, It's already a terrible shonen. It's already done irreversible damage, to shonen manga and anime. But to try to invade the Shoujo landscape is just diabolical. I mean, what we're trying to do here, you're really trying to get the Shoujo fans to watch this garbage. They don't even care about this, man. Your own fandom doesn't care about this. This is a sorry attempt to bring in a new demographic. This is a desperate attempt to get female audience retention, man. It's just really, really pathetic. I just couldn't imagine having to do that because no females actually watch One Piece, so they have to make some spin-off that caters exactly to them. It just perfectly marketed to them, perfectly put out on that production line, some manufactured old bullshit and just calling it a fucking day after that. It's just completely crazy. I mean, this is 100% a manufactured product. There was no passion in this. There was no heart put into this whatsoever. And you can just tell, man. I'm like, man, these animators just did not care to do anything on this. They're like, fuck, we got to do this. We really got to animate One Piece Heroines, boss. Yeah, you got to animate it. We need it, man. Oda needs extra money, man. He really needs it. So we got to help him out. Oh, fuck. All right, I guess, I guess I'll do it for this week, They don't actually care about what they're fucking doing. I mean, who does? No one asked for this in the first place, so of course they wouldn't care. And that's the problem with these spin-offs, man. When you see these spin-offs pop up, that they're not genuine. They're just doing it for that quick buck. They're like, hey, well, let's just throw anything at the wall and just hope and pray that it's actually going to be successful. That is actually going to be good. They cannot get together and come up with a new creative idea, man. They can't come up with their own creative Shoujo series because they know that shit would flop. They know that shit would flop. So they attach One Piece to it, hoping that, hey, if we put One Piece on it, people have to read it, man. Oh, people have to watch it, man. But little did they know that One Piece has always been falling off too. So it would have flopped either way. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy to me, man. It's just absolutely crazy to me. It's just, wow, man. 2026, we're coming out with spin-offs of One Piece, live actions of One Piece, with remakes of One Piece coming up in the next year. It's just, they're trying to go One Piece crazy. Oda's doing anything he can to save up for that retirement, because he knows once One Piece is over, that's it for him. He can't do anything else. That man would be finished immediately, man. He'll be kicked out of that magazine so fast. He wouldn't even know. Right. But yeah, with that being said, do not support this garbage. This is not to be taken seriously. No one asked for this. No one was wanting some spin-off with the female, cast of One Piece. No one wanted to see some Shoujo nonsense with them. There's nothing interesting about this anime, man. And let me say this again. If you actually like this anime, no, let me say that again. If you actually like this anime, you are not to be taken seriously. I mean, seriously, imagine liking this bullshit. Oh boy. But anyways, with that being said, Yuki here, the Rebellion Rose, and until next time, I'll see you.